Hi. I know I missed my video for last week, but that's okay. I had a really busy weekend last weekend. Just had some plans come up and did a lot of just work done on some of the projects that I have going on right now. And um, I I know I'm still in the process of making the final draft for my first book, but I finished another book. I finished its rough draft, so um, I might talk a little bit about that one because I just like how it felt when I wrote the zombie story, Fading Death. When I finished the whole first draft, it was like a creative fuse that I had to ride, and it just felt right to just write. There we go. That's probably gonna be the. I'm probably gonna name that this video. It feels right to write, because I know that for me, the way that I always handle just different projects and things that I'm working on, and just how I've been with throughout my professional life and whatever, going back to school, is I have a tendency to just kind of hop between different projects and leaving them unfinished. Um, and I know that that's a detriment because it's like I have a lot of creative ideas that I want to get on, and I kind of lose interest, and I get bored with one. I'm like, all right, well, let me just switch over to another one. But because I'm hitting a place right now in my life where I just have a lot more momentum when it comes to my writing and knowing myself better and just how to clear my thoughts, recharge my creative ideas, um, just sleep better, eat better, exercise better. Like right now, it's what time is it right now? It's almost 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, and Arlo and I we did 4.5 miles this morning. We left at 7:30, got back just at 9 o'clock. So it felt great to just go and do that, and it feels wonderful to just have the hardest thing done, because that's the way that I see it is, you know, all the writing that I'm getting done, all the work that I'm getting done. Um, Exercise is still so important for me that I want to be able to just really work on improving my health and getting just slimming down and working towards that, because that goes hand in hand with the vision that I have for where I want to take my life. So that's very important, and that is a non-negotiable. I have to get the exercise done. So I'm happy for it. I'm glad we got it done and taken care of, because then I get to just spend the rest of the day worrying about my writing. Um, I know I'm going to be hungry in a few hours, and I have some leftover food that I'm going to warm up, and it's going to be good. We're in for a good productive weekend, and I really wanted to just kind of share a little bit that I finished the first draft of my second book, which isn't related at all to the zombie story that I'm close to finishing up. It's it's set in a so there's this fantasy world that I had back in my mind a long time ago, because I knew I wanted to make my own homebrew setting for like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of campaign. And at the time I was really getting into, like, what sources are out there for dungeon masters, for people that want to build a fantasy world that has a lot of lore and immersion. And for me, I found that I really enjoy that aspect of it, of world building. um, Not so much like the DMing itself, although I have done a lot of the DMing or GMing for the Star Wars version of the tabletop, from Fantasy Flight Games, which is a lot of fun. Um, and I've done that a lot. And so that kind of, I guess, got me on the journey of where I'm at now, of just finding tools for world building. And now I'm like, I've used some of it for just coming up with ideas for like stories and settings that it's like, oh well, maybe they'll be used at some point or not. And then, over the last year, like, since I've committed to this change in my life, I started seeing, like, you know what, I can piece a lot of these ideas together into a chronicles, which is what I'm working on. And I don't want to get into too much detail about it until I have more work done. But I've created my own fictional world, and I'm going to show you the map that I made and how I made it when I share what I'm working on the screen here. Um, and then I'm going to show you some of the tools that I use to just kind of put it all together. And something else that I really wanted to talk about was just um, using AI and how that can be helpful to you as a writer. Because you shouldn't use AI to actually write your work and publish it, because that's disingenuous. It's not you. It's AI that's doing it. And so, but using it, in my opinion, for like your research, for just questions, even now, like when you go search on Google or whatever engine you use, what's always going to be at the very top option, the AI suggestion. Of course, you could turn that off. You have to go into the account settings and all that to do that. But I use Gemini for things that my actual work for my job related stuff, and for other just like research topics, things like that. And I like it. And I use it sometimes also for my own research and writing. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how I could use Gemini to kind of help just organize things, because something that I always came across that was always a big issue was just not having a solid reference of keeping things consistent, and that's helped a lot. So I'm going to jump right into it, because this video could be a little bit longer, and hopefully the data doesn't get full. So let me get the screen sharing, or not screen sharing, but I'm going to be recording it here from my screen, and then I am going to just edit it to have this overlaid as I'm still yapping. So let's see here, screen recording, there we go. It's been a while since I've done this, so oh, there we go. I could resize this to just be using that. Oh, let's see. Okay, I think it's going. All right, yeah, it's working. It just doesn't seem all that convincing. So, all right. So, first things first, there's two websites that I really want to show that have been very helpful for me. If you look here at the URL, the URL itself for this, you could just Google Donjon, um, world building, or like just fantasy, and it'll probably be the top one that shows up. It has a lot of different systems that you could use for tabletop stuff, for RPGs. But the thing that really stood out for me here was the fantasy world generator. And it kind of shows you a little preview of just what it is. And you could do like a random world. I don't know what Browse Multiverse is. I never used it. That's pretty new. But it's been a while since I've actually used this myself, because I used this a few years ago, but I always remember the link because I have it bookmarked, and it's really cool. So let me just show you right now. I'm just going to click Random World a few times. And this doesn't look too bad. Well, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll go with this. And you could choose a map style, an atlas, or an antique. I like atlas just because it looks a little bit more detailed. I'll just leave the font default as it is. I'll include geography, I'll include rivers, but I will not include cities and castles. I made the mistake on the map that I used for the world setting that I'm making now. So when I show it, you'll see that there's labels and stuff on it, but I really like the world, how it looked itself. Anyways, and I'll turn off the hex grid, and the map label, I'll leave it on. I think that includes things like directions and stuff, and if I had cities and castles, it'll show it, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and click Construct World. Let it go, let it run its thing. I'm going to have some coffee. Generating an image, and it should show you like a more detailed image that you can download. Yep, here we go. Okay, so that's what labels was. It includes things like, okay, so whatever. That's okay. That's fine. But oh, this also has a dark mode. I like working in dark mode. I feel like a vampire. All right. Well, this is actually pretty cool. Already of a world. This looks pretty cool. So then that's huge. Here's what I'm going to do. I want to open the image in a new tab. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and create a new folder that I can save this into. Let's see now. There we go. So, and you know, we're just gonna go with the default name that was given here, Formarian. I don't know, whatever. Let's see here. I'm just gonna name this here Formarian World Map. Okay, so there we go. Keep that there as a reference. And then, you know, you could zoom in and you could see all these little details here. Like, it's got, you know, some basic generated names that that are used here for like hills, mountains, and all that stuff. So, you know, and it's got rivers too, which I love. I'm a big fan of geography. I love looking at maps of geography. I can never get tired of it. So, um, let's see. I think is there? Let me see. I thought there was a way to view this in a 3D. Let me see. No, not really. But you kind of get. Maybe there is a way. I forgot. I think it's in one of the sci-fi world builder or map builders that I've seen before. But anyways, we'll just stick with this one for now. So there's a little preview there of the world that you can see. Also, let me see. Maybe I can save this image. Kind of. You know what? Might as well. I think I will save it, just in case. Because it's a PNG. It's already there. Let me. Oh, this is a GIF image. I wonder if the GIF spins. Let's see. Let me open it. No, it doesn't. Okay, that's fine. I remember coming across it at some point where they do spin it. I don't remember if it's in the fantasy world map generator or not. But anyways, back to here. Sea of Balas, the Sea of Winds, the Sea of Strath, Muka Desert. So, you know, it's just going to assign whatever names here, which is why I like working with a map that doesn't have any labels on it. So that way you could just kind of use it to create and just put in your own stuff. So anyways, for the example of this map, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to focus on. I kind of want to focus on this area, the River of Wrath and the Tide Lake rivers, because it looks like this could be a very interesting, just a geopolitical area of the world. Because it looks like you have multiple rivers all leading into this massive lake, which, if I scroll all the way over here, well, look at that. It's actually landlocked. So if you look at the lake over here to over here, you can kind of see how this little stretch of the lake ends right here. So definitely, okay, so I want to focus over here instead, because no doubt, like if you were to modernize this map, there's going to be canals, there's going to be, you know, ferries, and there's going to be ways to go from the lake into the ocean, the sea, which would open up trade for any nations that might be landlocked on this side of the world. Because look at that, you have just massive forests, and you're close to the north, to the northern poles. So it's going to be, you know, this is like all like tundra. Like imagine, like I guess what's it called? Like Siberia, those kind of conditions for a forest. So in the summertime, you'll have a lot of movement across the woods, no doubt following the rivers, going south into the mountains, and no doubt to more warmer temperate climates. I mean, this is an interesting world already. Like, you could just see a lot of potential for storytelling. So anyways, I want to focus back here. So, okay, so we have our world. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now, here's what I want to do. This other website that I use a lot is called Fantasy Name Generators. And more than just fantasy names, it has names for places and locations. It has names for just other random stuff, sci-fi things included, steampunk things, popular culture stuff. So if you want to have names that are kind of inspired by, like, Stormlight Archives, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, they even got Invader Zim and just a few other stuff, StarCraft, Game of Thrones. So if you want to go with, like, just ideas that are inspired by here, you could do this. One of my personal favorite ones is using Arthurian names, because I love the story of Arthur and the Knights of Camelot, and just that that period of history that the story is told in, and just the lore and the fantasy that follows it all. And I think the names are really cool too. That it comes up with, it's like that mixture of like Germanic, English, Latin kind of infusion of names here. So, anywho, here's what I want to do, and I'm gonna use AI to help do this. So I'm gonna do, let's see here, and and then I have a separate Google document that I'm gonna be using as my reference. So here's what I'm gonna do. The River of Wrath. Why is it called the River of Wrath? I'm gonna say it's because the, well, maybe this part of the woods are very treacherous. Maybe it's known for just housing, maybe like bandits, whispering woods. So there could be, a lot of rumors and just fear around it, or just unknown. So I'm gonna lean in that direction, where there's almost like supernatural that dwells in the woods, but also very real, tangible, like threats. So we're gonna start with that. So check this out. And I'm gonna use an Arthurian name. I'm just gonna go with Priscillo. This is a generated generic male name. So that's how we're gonna start with. And then we're just gonna do this. We're gonna use Gemini, and we're gonna say this. I'm working on a fantasy setting. I have a map I'm going to upload, and I am going to start giving you the lore of the locations, and then I would like you to clean it up and organize it. I spelled it organize wrong. Here I am, a writer, and I'm going to clean up and organize the information into a reference sheet. So now let me upload the file from the desktop here. Oh, it's the untitled folder. That's all a bunch of work stuff there. And here we go. I'm going to upload the Formarian world map. It's a big image, so Gemini's going to have a lot to work with here. You will see labels on the map. Ignore them mostly for now, but if you look at the top right area, northeast, you will see the labels for the Whispering Woods and let me see, I thought I had, oh, it's right here. And okay, no, it's the River of Wrath and Whispering Woods. You'll see the River of Wrath and Whispering Woods. This is where I'm going to begin. Please do not interject your own thoughts for lore and names as I will be providing them. Because sometimes if you're using AI, it's going to start just giving its own input, which I don't want it to do. So let's do this now. All right, here we go. They will not interject. They see it, Formarian world map, because it gets it from the file name itself. And look at that, it does recognize it, northeast section there of the map. All right, so then let's begin. I'm going to start with the name that I got. I said Persillo, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say Persillo. Let's say Persillo. Let me see. Okay, so say we're making a story here, and I wanted to follow maybe a bandit with a heart of gold kind of thing. There we go. There we go. That's what we'll go with. We'll use this example for it. Persillo is a bandit with a heart of gold, and then if he's a bandit, surely he has to belong to some kind of thieves guild or group. So let's do this. Let's just come up with the name here using this, because I'm doing this entire exercise for the video is just showing you these tools are here and how you could use them. Now you may already have a name in mind that you want to use. By all means, go with it. You know what? I kind of want to go with a, let's see. Oh, a nightclub. Let's see, a Sky Island. No, no. A ruin name. I wonder if maybe we could use no. Those are all the Oblivion Village. No, I'm good. Let's see. Let's do this. Other names, guild and clan names. Here we go. Let's see. End of the Ended. Birth of the Shield. Blue Veil. Blue Veil. It's not bad. Kind of like that. You know what? We'll go with Blue Veil. Blue Veil. We'll use that. He is one of the lieutenants of the Blue Veil clan. They dwell in the forest hillsides overlooking the river of wrath. Let's see then. They help the poor cross safely. They rob lords and barons. But they also are careful to not venture too far north into the Whispering Woods because of the ghosts, apparitions, and other dangers that lurk there. Apparitions, I spelled that wrong too. All right, there we go. Let's see what this reference looks like here. Let's see. Blue Veil Clan, they're bandits. Key figure Persillo, bandit with a heart of gold. Yup. Activities help the poor. That's exactly what I said. I could export it to Sheets. So if you want to organize it into a document, you can. But let me see. I'm just going to copy the table. And look at that. And there it is too. So look at that. Right there already. I have a reference for a character with input that I gave Gemini from fantasy map name generators using the map that I created and just giving it lore that I came up with on the fly and just kind of connected them all together. So, you know, that's really what I wanted to kind of show how to use this. And then I will, let's see here. Yeah, no, I'll stick to that example for right now. But that's just to give you an idea. I can stop the recording. Let's see. Yeah, so that can give you an idea of just the kind of tools that are out there that I find are fun to use. And, you know, depending on, you know, however you feel about using AI and some of the work that you do, then, you know, by all means, use it as an assistant to your writing to organize things. Or if you want to, I mean, you know, use it for research. Like I ask it questions all the time. Like when I was working on the book Fading Death, I would ask it questions about what were like radial models, what were Coast Guard boats, what were you know, U.S. military like standard weapons used in that time in the 1990s. And then of course I can go online and I can check it and verify that a lot of that is accurate. So it's like, okay, cool, because I don't want to be using information on the fly, especially a story like Fading Death, the zombie story, that is grounded a lot into our reality. Whereas other stories that I'm working on, like the one that I just finished recently, also, where it's a complete fantasy fictional setting. So it's like, okay, I have a lot more creative say over what the standard is because it's all fictional. Um, and that story is set in the chronicles of the world that I have, and like the chronicles themselves, it's pretty exciting because I wanted to tell the story of a setting where you go from like a stone age, almost like primordial time period where magic first comes into the world, and just see how the history of the world changes and evolves with magic in there. And then at some point something happens where the magic begins to fade away and we see the rise of industry, and it goes into sci-fi. So like I'm really excited about it, and you can just see me getting excited about it too, because that's my work that I'm focused on, that I want to get published and made. And yeah, the I'm excited because all of the stories that I have that I want to tell over this period of time, they could all trace back to previous ones because of references and things that have happened. Like, for example, the one that I just finished now, it takes place probably somewhere around here, where there's still some magic left in the world, but it's set in like a 1983 equivalent of what the time period looks like on this world. And like the dragons are extinct, griffins are extinct, but their fossils exist, and items of magic are mostly gone, but there's still some residue and traces. So like that book itself, it's called Total Resonance, and that's really relevant to the story of what happens, and it kind of follows along um, a bloodline that is reconnected to certain items of history, and it's exciting. It kind of feels like a noir Dracula type of story told in like this 1983 setting where you have cities with neon lights, big vertical billboards, um, trench coats, cigarettes, all this fun stuff, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, I really wanted to show a little bit of just how I use tools to help with some of the research, and it's a lot of fun. So if you're out there and if you're just wondering, like maybe you want some more visuals to be able to work with, or just to help get some ideas, fantasy name generators, Don John fantasy map making are great resources that you could use, and I used those for years before AI even became a thing. So it's fun, it's great, it's easy tools out there, and it just helps. Like if you want to just really come up with lore and just really fill up the world with ideas and just find ways that they could all connect, then have at it. So that's really what I wanted to share today. I know the video is a little bit longer, but I wanted to share it and I wanted to get it out there. So I'm excited to just continue working forward and getting these books made. And I mean, yeah, like I've also been doing a lot of research on just the process for publishing, what things I need to keep in mind when it comes to designing the cover, because I'm going to want Fading Death available as paperback, as hardcover, as digital, and eventually I want it to be available in audio as well. So that's kind of the roadmap that I'm following. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, or if there's other sites and tools that you use, by all means share them. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Yeah, 31 minutes. Amazing.